This is why you're stuck in gold. This is a series where I expose mistakes in your gameplay, show you light bulb moments, and show you examples that will actually get you to mastering your hero and it gets you out of freaking gold. In today's video, we got an Iron Man player by the name Sam091 Gold. Be sure to stick around for the worst mistakes ever because I promise you, towards the end of the video, it gets really freaking bad. For our first mistake we're exposing is using the Iron Man upgrade ability. I forget what it's called, but that's your main playstyle that you're going to play around. Now right here, during the poke phase, this is a good example of a mistake because nothing's really dying. Yes, they're low as hell, but you always want to use this, the upgraded Iron Man ability. I don't know what it's called. You always want to use that during the brawl phase. Here we got people on point, we can help out here. But during the poke phase, that's when the fight is just starting out. You want to save it for that brawl phase. Sometimes you can get lucky. Sometimes you can get lucky when there's an isolated target and you can just beam them while you're upgraded. But besides that, be sure you're playing around your timing. Think, is now a good time I should be using this ultimate? Is there an isolated target? Are they being healed? But just keep that in mind. Obviously, there's going to be times where you can get away with it, but that's going to be your main gameplay loop. This is a good example of this Iron Man playing with cover. He's just not out in the open. Well, right now he's kind of out in the open, but he's playing close to this statue right here. This isn't really a piece of cover, but this is main piece of cover. There we go. Good confirmed kill. We're going to get into, that was a good example of target priority. Okay, now here we use our upgrade ability and we're out in the open. Literally, if the Star-Lord or somebody looks at us, we're in deep trouble. But good confirmed kill right there. There we go. Now this is when we back up and reset. Yep. This is when we back up and reset. We don't want to front line as Iron Man. This is a good example of not knowing when to back up. Nothing personal, but we are just out in the open, bro. In higher elos, yeah, you're definitely going to be punished. Yes, you were playing with cover and you were playing around it, but we also got to be tracking the kill feed. If you see 3 of your team is dead, you activate Jarvis 6-7 and use your propulsive beams to get your tail to the spawn room. Do not escape down main. Main is this area where everybody's walking through. Always escape at a little angle. Yes, there was a Luna here, but you could have escaped out this way instead of dying. I'll save the worst parts of this game towards the end. Here's an example of playing way too out in the open. Here we have no form of natural cover. If say somebody like the enemy Human Torch were to come around and kill you, it would be free easy pickings because you're out in the open. Be sure you don't give up on what you were doing. You were doing really good earlier playing, where am I? Holy. You were doing really good earlier playing close to this statue. Yes, I know sometimes you get carried away. That's fine. Ooh, that was a good example of an ultimate. Psych, I lied. This was a bad example of using an ultimate. You were way too out in the open that you got punished. Yes, we got the support dead, but look at our positioning. Look, as Iron Man, just because you can fly doesn't mean you gotta fly high. You could have swooped down here and popped your ultimate out this way. Because looking at it macroly, look how free you were for the Human Torch. Look at how close she was. You didn't even notice him. But yeah, you could have just came down here, maximum pulse right here, plus your team was right there too. So here's a good example of getting your lick back. Hell yeah. Now you got a little lucky on the primary fire, which is great, but we're still out in the open. And there's a Scarlet Witch right here. Notice how she's flying up to you. You have no form of natural cover. Nothing. Play close. Even if you are going to play out in the open, as soon as you see your health is going down, activate Protocol 6-7. Use your propulsive beams and find a piece of natural cover so you're not dying. Right now we're 6-4. 2 of those deaths could have been prevented if you would have just played natural cover and ran away. So far the biggest pattern for you has been, yeah, no, I'm not telling you right now. What are we doing? Whoa. Oh, okay, so there's no one else on point. Since you died earlier than your team, it would have been better for you to swap off the Iron Man and go Doctor Strange so you can portal back to the point. A couple of tips for Doctor Strange: if you are going to portal out of spawn, all you gotta do is make sure your portal isn't too high so that way you can jump back into spawn. I put mine a little high, but you're always gonna do primary fire, melee, and only pop your Maelstrom of Madness when it's at 100 so you do maximum damage. And as for your shield, you never want to, when you're pushing, you never want to walk forward and do this with your shield. You always either want to keep your shield up to block damage, and you want to do primary fire, melee weave. Just so next time you're next time you're the first one to die and need a portal back to overtime. I promise you this game is way easier than you think. So now we're on to the second round. You're not even ready for the biggest mistake ever though. So this is a good example of using natural cover right here. And now the enemy rogue is going into your backline and you actually turn around and help kill her, which is what you should be doing. I was watching the MRC tournament and I found out when the enemy cap or whoever is going in, you always want to shoot them first. Like this cap, if you were alive, you could have just killed him. And when the cap is out, then it's your turn to fight, do whatever. But this was a bad example of not knowing when to run, minus the rogue. Now look at where you're positioned. You're still a little bit out in the open. The Scarlet Witch shoots you, and you tried to fire off your missiles. I don't know why you tried to fire off your missiles. You should be doing one thing. When the enemy is attacking you and you're in big form, you should not be... When the enemy is attacking you and you're in your big form, the mistake you make is popping your missiles. Because sure, they can die, but your life is way more important. You're going to realize when the enemy team is killing me, aha, I can just run away. That's all you have to do. Because once your upgrade runs out, you're a sitting duck and you can't control it for the enemy team. But that's not even the worst mistake here so far yet. Don't take it personal. I mean, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. Here's a good example of teamwork. You saw your blade was shooting at the enemy support. You did a good job at looking where your blade was looking and killed the enemy support. You did the same thing with the rogue. Whoa, she didn't die yet. But yeah. So here's one of the biggest mistakes. We're helping our blade out. He killed someone else. Or you killed Wanda. Now look right here. The Mantis dies. And you pop your Iron Man ults. Why are we popping our Iron Man against a Captain America? Do you want to see this aha moment and how it's going to come back to bite you? So if we fast forward, the enemy Luna pops her ultimate because she's about to die. But our main star does not have his ultimate because he used it on a Captain America. This team fight would have been lost in higher elos. That's an example of bad positioning too. Your light bulb moment should be to counter ult every time. We should not be using our ultimate just to kill a Captain America. Now, if you're doing it for the memes, go for it. But if you were doing it unironically, bro, I got bad news for you. Please counter ults almost every single time as Iron Man because his ultimate really does suck and is easily counterable. But you'll still be getting value. So your team ended up winning the fight. Now we're on to the last round. So now we're on a big open map. And have you noticed the pattern yet? They have a Punisher now. If only we had a piece of natural cover to hide behind. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the mistake right now though. That's for later. Here's another big mistake. Yeah, we're 2 for 2 right now. Have you caught it yet? Your mistake, you're just popping the Iron Man out. You're popping the Iron Man ultimate just willy-nilly. Yeah, you were trying to kill the enemy Loki, but it didn't work. He didn't even pop his ultimate or nothing. Now, both supports have their ultimates. The enemy Loki and the enemy Cloak and Dagger. Once one of them pops and we don't have anything... Oh, wait, that's on your team. Never mind. Yeah, see, I make mistakes too. Okay, so now the enemy Cloak and Dagger is going to have her ultimate. So look, she pops her ultimate, and not only are you dead because of bad positioning, but we don't have anything to counter it, and we lost the team fight. Yes, I did skip ahead, and you died in the last team fight. Just keep in mind, you got to save your Iron Man ults to counter the enemy supports every single freaking time. And you got to do it close enough. And you got to do it to where you can't be countered. And you got to do it where you're not. No, do not blame your teammates because we got some things we got to work on. Your first mistake, we got to work on your positioning. Your aha moment should not be after you're dying. Your aha moment should always be asking yourself, hey, am I out in the open? How open can the enemy see me? Where's a piece of natural cover I can retreat to? And a good, your mastery of this should be to just retreat to a piece of cover, bro. Second, we got to talk about your ultimate. Because your mistake, you're just popping it willy-nilly. Your aha moment should not be for after you get one single kill. Your aha moment should be Oh, wait. Mantis should have her ultimate right now. And then that's when you pop your ultimate. Literally fix these two, and then you should be fine. This victory is not for you. Like the video if it's helped you.